So Donald Trump just walked into a political mess of his own making. Fox News cut away from him, live, mid-sentence, not after a commercial break, not during a transition, while he was still talking. And if you understand what Fox News is, what it has been to Donald Trump for nearly a decade, you understand why that moment changes everything. This is the network that defended him through 2 impeachments, the network that amplified his election fraud claims until it cost them $787 million. The network that gave him a platform when others wouldn't. Fox News didn't just support Trump. They built the media infrastructure that made his political survival possible. And now they've cut the feed. Not because they disagree with him, not because they've suddenly discovered journalistic integrity, but because Trump became something Fox News cannot tolerate, a legal liability they could see happening in real time. Let's start with what actually happened. Trump appeared on Fox News for what was supposed to be a friendly interview, the kind he's done hundreds of times. Soft questions, predictable answers, a chance to hit his talking points without serious pushback. For the first 15 minutes, everything went exactly as planned. Trump talked about his policy vision. He attacked his opponents. He repeated familiar grievances about investigations and prosecutors. Standard Trump. Nothing Fox hadn't aired before. Then the host asked about his legal troubles, and everything changed. Trump's tone shifted. His pacing accelerated, and he began making accusations that were not political commentary. They were direct, specific claims that could trigger immediate legal consequences. He named a federal judge, by name. He accused that judge of accepting bribes from George Soros, said he had evidence of wire transfers, called for the judge to be arrested for treason. Then he pivoted to military officials. He accused a specific 4-star general of orchestrating a coup, said this general held secret meetings with Democratic leaders to discuss using military force to stop Trump's agenda, and he called for military tribunals for what he described as the ultimate punishment. This wasn't hyperbole. This wasn't vague political rhetoric. This was Trump accusing named individuals of federal crimes on live television. And inside Fox News, panic set in. According to sources familiar with what happened in the control room, the network's legal team began calling producers within 45 seconds of Trump starting this tirade. The message was clear. Get him off air. Now. Producers tried to redirect Trump, asked him different questions, attempted to steer the conversation back to safer ground. Trump ignored them. The accusations escalated. More names, more specific claims, more explicit threats. And Fox News made a decision that would have been unthinkable just a few years ago. Cut to commercial. Immediately, what viewers saw was jarring. Trump mid-sentence, then a hard cut to ads, then the host, visibly uncomfortable, explaining that they were experiencing technical difficulties. But there were no technical difficulties. There was only Donald Trump saying things that could expose Fox News to massive legal liability. And Fox News chose self-preservation over loyalty. Now let's be very clear about what this means. Fox News cutting away from Trump is not a routine editorial decision. This is the network that has aired his rallies for hours without interruption. That has let him make countless false claims without fact-checking. That has stood by him when every other major network turned away. For them to cut the feed means their lawyers saw something that genuinely terrified them. And what terrified them was simple. Trump was committing defamation in real time, on their air, and there was no way to stop him except to literally pull the plug. Think about the position Fox News found itself in at that moment. On one side, they need Trump. Their ratings depend on him. Their audience is overwhelmingly pro-Trump. Being seen as censoring him could trigger a viewer exodus to Newsmax or One America News. On the other side, they just paid $787 million because they broadcast false claims about Dominion voting systems. That settlement wasn't just expensive, it was a wake-up call. Fox's legal team is now hyper-vigilant about defamation risk. They know exactly what happens when you broadcast false accusations that damage individuals or companies, and Trump just handed them a nightmare scenario. A former president accusing a sitting federal judge of bribery, accusing a military general of treason, by name, with specific allegations, on their network. If that judge sues, Fox is a defendant. If that general sues, Fox is a defendant. And unlike the Dominion case, where Fox could argue they were covering newsworthy claims made by public figures, this time there's no such defense. This was Trump making accusations, and Fox was the platform amplifying them. So they made the only choice they could make. They cut away. And in doing so, they revealed something Trump has spent years trying to hide. Even his most loyal media allies have limits. Now here's where this gets interesting. Trump's pattern of attacking judges, prosecutors, and officials is not new. We've watched this behavior escalate throughout his legal troubles. He attacked Judge Juan Merchan during the New York trial, violated gag orders repeatedly, got held in contempt, paid fines, and kept attacking anyway. He's called special counsel Jack Smith deranged, a thug, and worse. The attacks became so threatening that Smith's security detail had to be enhanced because of credible threats. He targeted Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss, two Georgia election workers who were just doing their jobs, named them publicly, made false accusations, and subjected them to death threats that forced them into hiding. He even turned on his own Attorney General, Bill Barr, the moment Barr acknowledged the truth about the 2020 election. This is Trump's playbook: attack, intimidate, delegitimize anyone who stands in his way. But what happened on Fox News shows that the playbook is breaking down. Because Trump didn't just attack in vague terms this time, he made specific, legally actionable accusations that create immediate jeopardy for anyone broadcasting them. And that's a line even Fox News won't cross anymore. Think about what that means for Trump going forward. If Fox News, the network that has defended him through everything, can't safely air what he says without tape delay and heavy editing, where does he go? Newsmax will take him. OAN will take him. But they're smaller platforms, they have less reach, less influence, and they face the exact same legal risks. Trump's entire political strategy depends on his ability to dominate media coverage, to command attention, to control the narrative through sheer force of volume. But when major networks start treating him as a legal hazard instead of a ratings opportunity, his reach shrinks. And when his reach shrinks, so does his power. Now let's talk about the Republican response to this incident, because what's remarkable is how many Republicans simply refused to comment. Multiple Republican senators were asked about the interview, about Trump's accusations, about Fox News cutting away, and they walked away from reporters without answering, literally turned around and walked away. They know there's no good answer here. Defending Trump's accusations means defending statements that are factually baseless and potentially defamatory. It means standing behind a former president calling for military tribunals against generals. That's indefensible. But condemning Trump means facing his wrath. It means risking a primary challenge. It means becoming a target for the MAGA base. So they chose silence. But silence is becoming harder to maintain, because this story isn't going away. The footage that aired before Fox cut away is circulating. Legal analysts are dissecting Trump's statements frame by frame, and the questions keep mounting. Did Trump really just accuse a federal judge of taking bribes on live television? Did he really call for military action against a four-star general? And if that's where Trump is now, if that's the level of rhetoric he's willing to deploy, what does that say about his fitness for office? These are questions Republicans desperately don't want to answer, but they're being forced to confront them anyway, because Trump won't stop. His campaign didn't walk back the statements. His spokesperson didn't issue a clarification. Instead, they attacked Fox News, accused them of censorship, said they were doing the bidding of the deep state, claimed they were trying to silence Trump because he was telling uncomfortable truths. Trump himself went on Truth Social and called Fox News traitors for cutting away. This is classic Trump. Double down. Attack the accusers, never admit fault. Never back down. But this time, it's not working. Because Fox News didn't cut away out of political opposition. They cut away out of legal necessity. And Trump attacking them for it only proves their decision was correct. Now think about the broader implications of this moment. Trump's entire media strategy has been built on domination. Flood the zone, control the narrative, make every news cycle about him. For years, that strategy worked brilliantly. Trump understood that attention is power, that controversy generates coverage, that as long as everyone is talking about him, he remains the center of American politics. But that strategy only works if networks are willing to give him unlimited airtime. The moment those networks decide Trump is too risky to broadcast without heavy editing or tape delay, the entire strategy collapses. And that's what we're watching happen. Fox News just sent a signal to every other news organization in America. Broadcasting Trump live without control is a legal gamble we can no longer afford. Expect other networks to follow suit. Expect more tape delays, more aggressive editing, more willingness to cut away when Trump crosses legal lines. Trump's greatest weapon has always been his ability to command attention. When that weapon gets neutralized, not by political opponents, but by his own allies protecting themselves from legal liability, everything changes. Now consider what happens next. Trump is facing multiple criminal trials. The legal pressure on him is only going to intensify. And based on what we saw on Fox News, as that pressure increases, his rhetoric is getting more extreme, not less. He's going to keep attacking judges, keep targeting prosecutors, keep making accusations against officials he sees as threats. Every network will face the same choice Fox News just faced. Keep broadcasting and risk massive legal liability, or cut away and face backlash from Trump's base. Most will choose to cut away, because corporations don't prioritize loyalty over legal survival, and that creates a vicious cycle for Trump. The more extreme his rhetoric becomes, the less airtime he gets. The less airtime he gets, the more frustrated he becomes. The more frustrated he becomes, the more extreme his rhetoric gets. This trajectory is unsustainable, and Republican strategists know it. According to multiple reports, behind closed doors, they're discussing what was previously unthinkable. Contingency plans if Trump becomes too toxic to support publicly, not because they've suddenly developed principles, but because they're looking at polling data. They're watching swing voters recoil from Trump's chaos. They're seeing suburban moderates move away from the Republican Party. And now they're watching conservative media outlets, Fox News of all networks, cut away from Trump because he's become too risky to broadcast. That's not a winning formula. But here's the problem for Republicans. They can't abandon Trump without triggering a civil war within their own party. His base is too loyal. His grip on the primary electorate is too strong. His ability to destroy Republicans who cross him is too well established. So they're trapped. Stay loyal to Trump and watch him drag them into electoral defeat after electoral defeat, or break from him and face an internal bloodbath that could split the party permanently. Neither option is good, and that's exactly the position Trump has put them in. Because Trump doesn't care about the Republican Party. He never has. He cares about Trump, and he'll burn the entire party down if it means protecting himself. We've seen this pattern before with people in Trump's orbit. He demands absolute loyalty. They provide it. Then when the political or legal costs become too high, those allies are left holding the bag while Trump moves on to his next grievance. Fox News is just the latest casualty. They defended him for years, amplified his message, gave him a platform when others wouldn't. They even paid $787 million for promoting his false election claims. And the moment they tried to protect themselves from further legal disaster, Trump turned on them, called them traitors, accused them of censorship, told his followers to abandon them. This is how Trump operates. Loyalty flows in one direction, toward him, never from him. And eventually everyone around Trump learns this lesson. Now let's talk about what this means for American democracy. Because this isn't just about Trump or Fox News or Republican Party infighting. This is about whether there are any meaningful limits to the rhetoric we'll tolerate in our political discourse. Trump just accused a sitting federal judge of bribery. He accused a military general of planning a coup. He did this on live television to millions of viewers with no evidence whatsoever. If there are no consequences for this, if Trump faces no real accountability, then we've established a dangerous new standard. Political leaders can accuse anyone of any crime. They can call for any punishment. They can target any official they find inconvenient. And there's nothing stopping them. That's not democracy with rough edges. That's authoritarianism with elections. The fact that Fox News had to cut away to prevent legal liability doesn't solve the underlying problem. Because Trump still said what he said. His followers still heard it, and many of them believe it. The damage is done. The judge he accused now faces threats. The general he targeted now needs enhanced security. These aren't abstract consequences. They're real dangers to real people, and Trump's rhetoric is escalating. Every time he faces a legal setback, his attacks become more extreme. Every time a court rules against him, he calls for more drastic action. This trajectory leads nowhere good. But here's what gives me pause. The fact that Fox News cut away suggests that institutional guardrails still exist. A network faced a choice between loyalty and legal survival, and they chose legal survival. Courts are still holding Trump accountable, even when he attacks judges by name. These institutions are strained. They're under enormous pressure, but they haven't broken yet. And that matters, because if Trump could say anything without consequence, if networks would broadcast anything for ratings, if no institution pushed back, we'd be in a fundamentally different place. We're not there yet, but we're close. And every time Trump escalates without facing meaningful accountability, we move closer to that edge. So yes, Fox News cutting away from Trump is significant. It shows that even his most loyal media allies have limits. It demonstrates that legal liability can create boundaries that political loyalty cannot. But it also reveals how far Trump is willing to go. He's not moderating. He's not learning from consequences. He's escalating. And until that changes, until Trump faces accountability that actually constrains his behavior, we're going to keep having these moments. Moments where democratic institutions have to choose between tolerating dangerous rhetoric and taking action to stop it. Fox News made their choice. They cut the feed. But Trump's still talking. And the question isn't whether networks will keep cutting away. The question is what happens when cutting away isn't enough anymore. When the rhetoric becomes so extreme that simply not broadcasting it doesn't prevent the damage. When the threats become real. When the accusations lead to violence. When the guardrails fail completely. That's the trajectory we're on. And Fox News cutting away from Trump, as significant as that moment is, doesn't change the fundamental dynamic. Trump will keep pushing, keep escalating, keep testing the limits until something breaks, or until someone finally stops him.